Captain Murphy here from PiratesAhoy.net. Today I'm going to cover some of the changes we've got as of the latest release of CryEngine Engine as a Service, which is version 3.6.2 as of this video. There's been a bunch of different changes to it. One of the primary ones that's happened is they changed from Fmod sound over to WWise. Other than the licensing issue, I don't see a major issue with this. We're going to be limited to 200 sounds unless we buy a release pack of it, so it's going to be kind of a problem. The one thing it did do is it broke all of our sounds, though, so we don't have any canon sounds. Nothing works right now. It's all completely broken. So we're going to have to pretty much start from scratch on our canon entities to make them work with sound again. But it's just, you know, progress is going to cost something. With the 3.6.2, though, we've got a little better physical shading and environment mapping, things like that. It's much cleaner. Shadows are extremely precise. Everything looks very good. And I'm going to show you the shading on these, like the rigging. You can see exactly how precise the rigging shadows are now. And nothing had to be done special for this. This is just looking at the physical objects that are in the engine, and it renders them as such. So some of these things that don't have a physical item don't actually render in. So you can see that we've got these two blocks line up so they only show one shadow, but everything looks like it's rendering in just gorgeous. Even under decks, little things like the small squares that are in the deck, those are now rendering much cleaner than they were before. So, I mean, everything looks beautiful in this new release. So I'm hoping that we can get this to work really well. The one thing I was very surprised about on this release, though, is there's some new interaction with the ocean object. So you can see where this cannon is just firing every couple seconds here. We've got a particle effect that splashes, but there's also this interaction where when the ball hits, it turns it into a ripple. That was normally only on the water volume objects, like the flat lakes and things like that. You could have a ripple occur, and the oceans never really responded to this. Now, with the cannonballs hitting, it not only creates our particle effect, but it also creates the rippling effect of the object. So now we don't have to do this on our side. It's already done inside the engine, which takes, you know, a good load off of us. It also interacts with pretty much any other physical object. So we're going to watch this boat here a little bit. You can see that it starts to create ripples off of the boat, and it kind of makes a small wake as it's expanding. So we might not have to do a whole lot of interaction. We'll make some particle effects to do some splashing, things like that. But we can probably call that same effect there to create an actual wake coming off of the boat, and we don't have to do any additional rendering. The game's going to do it for us and do all the culling and everything without us having to do any of the interaction with it. So it looks like there's been some, you know, pretty interesting changes done that we weren't expecting. But overall, we've been set back a little bit. So we've been kind of thrown for a loop on a few things, but as far as the shading is now concerned, with this new environment probe for the lighting, there's been quite a jump in the quality of the lighting on the engine. So everything looks much more realistic as far as being in the light or in the dark, and then how the diffuse works. And because of this environment probes, we can then adjust these things on our side and modify how they work. So we've got more access to a lot more of the code. So hopefully in the coming weeks we'll have a lot of improvements that are being made. But we're going to have to kind of learn things on our own because the documentation is still kind of catching up. So we'll be playing catch up for a little while here. But anyway, so yeah, there's been a lot of little tweaks and changes to the engine, and we're going to be trying to keep some video updates a little more often. As we do make some progress. We've picked up some new developers recently, and hopefully we can make some more progress on this and have a releasable tech. Not so much a demo, but something that you guys can just kind of jump into and see firsthand through the engine what we're doing. And that kind of comes along with, again, the release of the new version, because we've got a subscription to the engine as a service, which will allow us then to release the game in a packaged format. But before we do that, we've got a few things we've got to make some changes to. We're going to restructure some of the files and hopefully get the game as small as possible. As it sits right now, all of our assets that we've got in the game push right around 7.5 gigs. And we're going to go ahead and trim out all of these stock assets we don't need, just to give you guys something that you can jump in the engine, you know, walk around on a boat, fire a cannon, things like that, and just get an idea of what we're looking at as far as our progress so far. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the update. Sorry for taking so long. We've been, you know, playing catch up on this and really waiting, kind of waiting for the new version to come out before we did a lot more of new development. So I hope you guys enjoyed the update, and we'll try to keep you up to date a little more often in the future. And remember to go to piratsahoy.net for more information. Thanks.